Alright, so Monster Hunter Wilds is getting its first new events in March. A couple of them have already begun, and there are some very awesome rewards in there you might be interested in. We're gonna talk about that in this video, plus there's a brand new patch with some extra fixes, so let's jump right in. Now, if you head over in-game, you should see the first two event quests appearing right here in the events tab, pretty much at any mission post. You're going to have two of them that give slightly different rewards. So the first one, in which you defeat Quemetris, this is going to be pretty useful if you want to farm Kunafa cheese that you can then funnel into crafting your own meals. This is going to give you, by the way, the defender meal buff, which sometimes decreases the damage that you take. Actually very useful if you're fighting high grade monsters or maybe want a bit more survivability. And since you don't really have many reliable sources of this, it can be helpful. Otherwise, you're kind of forced to just trade this with the Kunafa villagers and get them the other way, but that's going to cost resources. And this way, you're just going to get them for absolutely free. Now, the other fight involves a Neon Kutku. If you defeat it, this is going to give you a few rewards, one of which is this new ticket for basically this new helmet piece right here called, well, I guess the Mimifira. But this is going to give you one level in ambush and one into entomologist, which is not going to be the best in the game by any means, but if you want some extra layered armor customization, you can have this, I guess, lemur looking creature on your head now at all times. But this is also going to be part of a set, I guess, at some point later down the line, as it does feature this fortifying pelt set, a 3 set that increases attack and defense after fainting during a quest and can be used twice, by the way. So yeah, you can probably stack some nice damage there if you want to. But somehow this quest also seems to drop quite a lot of tier 6 advanced armor spheres, so if you're kinda in a lack of that, though I'm not sure exactly who would be at this stage. However, if you do need more, this can definitely be a pretty decent way of getting extra, since they cost about 200 points to actually get at the smelter, so you can probably use this as an alternative instead. Then from March 11th next week up until the 18th, we get Tongue-Tied, a fight against Tempered Chalacabra, which is going to give us hard armored spheres and advanced armored spheres. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wish that they went at least a tier above so that it's really worth it. By that point, pretty much everybody will be way into the late game and will probably want the much higher grade stuff. But you know what? Free stuff is free, so why not? And of course, the headgear for the Mimifira is still going to continue into next week as well, in case you missed it in this one. But on the last final week of March, so from 18 up until the 25th, we're going to have 3 new event quests, 2 of which are going to be specifically aimed at farming more decorations. So this includes one against Tempered Labarina, which is going to give us the weapon variant decorations, the glowing orb swords, and then there's one against the Shagama, which is going to give us the glowing orb armors. However, once again, these are just the intermediary levels, so just rarity 5, not the max 6 that we currently have in the game. The ancient variants obviously are going to be the highest grade, and I'm not sure exactly how these will stack up with the current best decoration farming method, which just involves any of the apex predators. So if you find a great hunt with duo bosses, one of which is an apex predator like Arkveld or Gormagala, you can pretty much get way more of those orbs right there, but also ensure that they are high grade, like tier 6, which ensures you get some of the best decorations in the game. Unfortunate, but it's going to give us a third alternative to that, and also to the melding pot, which right now may be a bit expensive until you really farm more gear. And finally, the third one is going to be like a fire hidden by sand. This is going to be again aimed to another new armor piece. We're gonna have to hunt down Rathian for headgear alpha, a piece of equipment based on the emblem of the expedition. Anyway, besides this, we also have the brand new patch that went live earlier today. This is going to include the next fixes plus a few currently known issues that will soon be addressed. So one of them was already talked about, the gorilla meat and ingredient center features not being able to get unlocked even after meeting the progress criteria. Also, when heading to Azus during main mission chapter 1 towards fervent fields, players keep falling through the map. That was also addressed. Also, the master field guide not being able to get access was another fix. Also, during the mission, a world turned upside down, an NPC may not appear, preventing further progression. Also, at the smithy, an issue may occur where tutorials are repeatedly shown disabling certain options in the menu. There is also one when guarding a monster's attack with a lance using power guard under certain conditions. The weapon flashes in red, but the effect is not activated. Also, when using a mantle, a weapon equipment skill may mistakenly be activated. Furthermore, some effects may be displayed continuously when using certain skills, such as peak performance and self-improvement. When successfully performing an offset attack with the insect glaive's descending slash, under certain conditions, the hunter freezes and becomes unresponsive to any controls. And finally, addressed issues that occurred under certain conditions with screen rendering and causing forced quits. Though I will say I'm still having forced crashes when I alt-tab and check out the other screen, so it's not quite up there just yet, plus I'm still getting those visual glitches. But besides that, there are some currently known issues that will follow soon. These were just on March 5th, by the way, so the network error occurring when firing an SOS flare right after a quest begins. Another one with link members not being prioritized over other players and may not appear in some places, including the base camp. Pelico's attacks with blunt weapons not inflicting stun and exhaust damage on the target. And finally, the meal invitation event at the zoos and Sid does not occur on some occasions. These are just of the currently known bigger issues that will be addressed. In terms of the performance, I am not seeing anything, but do let me know down below in the comments if performance has seen any improvements for you following the recent patches. Anyway, on a final note, one thing I wanted to mention is that I'm absolutely blown away, as I'm sure everybody is, including Capcom, at how insanely popular Wilds actually is. I was kind of afraid because of its slightly clunky-ish combat that a lot of people point out. It's not really clunky, it's like super skill-based, but it can feel clunky if you don't know what you're doing. However, the game sold over 8 million copies at the current time. In just 3 days, it sold more than pretty much any Monster Hunter game has ever sold in history. So surpassed 8 million units in 3 days, which is the fastest a title has reached this milestone in the company's history. So it's not even just the franchise, Monster Hunter franchise, it's pretty much all of their games. So yeah, it's very interesting to see the much broader appeal of Monster Hunter Wilds, and this comes in contrast with some of the discussions before the game even came out. The fact that Wilds was seen as the easiest in all the Monster Hunter franchise, well, that also helps a ton with getting more people in and then funnel them into the rest of the franchise. Like, I skipped Rise after World, and I'm planning to go ahead and no-life the heck out of this once I get the downtime from Wilds. So the fact that a lot more players have the chance to give this awesome series a go, I think that that's going to be really awesome. They will also provide more updates along the way on game information via online events such as Monster Hunter Wilds Showcase. As a result of these continuous global initiatives, Monster Hunter Wilds has evolved with massive excitement and achieved sales of 8 million units in 3 days, the fastest any game has done in Capcom's history. Also, Capcom remains firmly committed to satisfying the expectations of all users by leveraging its industry-leading game development capabilities in order to create highly entertaining gameplay experiences. I do still hope that they will focus a bit more on that performance side as well, even though recently they've admitted that they've already poured a lot of effort into flashing out the performance as much as they can, so I'm not sure exactly how much more they are willing or can from this point on. But anyway, that is about it with the update. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.